John, we're going to talk about some Star Wars here for a little while. I know you'd probably do it in solo shows and stuff.
I do it a lot. Any
I don't
opportunity I have to stick the boot into Kathleen Kennedy, I'll take it.
Well, we're not sticking the boot until this time.
Well,
it's going to be Disney.
I'll tell you that right now, because I'm not having this.
Yeah, I don't know, John.
Liar!
I just find it a strange one that I don't know. I don't understand why Disney would do that. Why would they throw something on under?
I bet it's news to Bob Iger, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Bet it's news to him.
Yeah, perhaps, maybe. But yeah, this is all about, obviously, the recent announcements and stuff like that. They've just never happened and stuff like that. And the
Many of which when Bob was there.
The finger is pointing very heavily at the mouse. So the mouse house.
The mouse house, yes, the house of mouse.
Yeah, recently an insight into these announcements was provided by the book MCU. Sorry, I'm reading
Steve, you can read it right off of there, man, if you want. You can read it straight off the monitor.
Yeah,
better for your eyes.
Yeah, well, I was going to read that, and then I was going to read a bit above it. But do you know something? In a recent insight into Disney's biggest franchise, claims that the conglomerate, I don't even know what that word, forced Lucasfilm to announce Star Wars projects before they were ready. At Disney's Investor Day 2020, Kathleen Kennedy took to the stage to announce a slew of upcoming Star Wars TV shows.
Only used in film industry terms. A slew of upcoming Star Wars TV shows and movies.
These projects. That's all, folks. These projects were Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka and/or Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars Visions, Lando, The Acolyte, Star Wars A Droid Story, and Rogue Squadron. Recently, an insight into these announcements were provided by the book MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios by Joanna Robinson, Dave Gonzalez and Gavin Edwards. This book claims that Disney forced both Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm to announce projects that were nowhere close to being ready for an announcement, let alone development. Kevin Feige and Lucasfilm chair Kathleen Kennedy appeared on screen to announce a dizzying number of new projects. Both Feige and Kennedy were pressured into announcing projects that were nowhere near ready, some of which have since been cancelled and significantly overhauled and delayed. As proven by these comments, Disney pressure on Lucasfilm and Kennedy to announce several projects has led to instability seen in the Star Wars franchise of late. The constant changing of Star Wars upcoming movie release slate, as well as the overhaul of different Disney Plus shows, are emulative of this, with the pressure on Lucasfilm by Disney providing an adequate explanation as to why this was the case. Despite this pressure from Disney, Lucasfilm has delivered some of the projects announced in 2020, albeit not every single one of them. Ahsoka and/or Obi-Wan Kenobi and Star Wars Visions have all been released on Disney Plus.
Most of them are good, with
minimal issues, with The Acolyte currently set for the same outcome with a release date of 2024. That said, the others on the list have yet to be released, and in some cases have been either completely cancelled or shelved indefinitely. The Lando series is one of the projects which has hit multiple development issues. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, John.
Yeah, I think Donald's now helping to write it, and you can see that there. Yeah, Stephen and Donald Glover. Yeah, both are writing it now. I think they worked in Atlanta together, and that was a pretty successful show. So they know what they're doing. And Stephen, I always say this, and I don't want to come across as being this sort of social justice warrior type, you know, but if you've got a person of colour playing a person of colour in an actual other universe, then it stands to reason you want that person who's lived and breathed what it's like to be in that skin writing the fucking character. You don't want some jaggy-arsed white guy or woman writing the story of a black character. It just makes no fucking sense. We've seen that with Michael B. Jordan in Creed 2. You get Stephen Caple Jr. in to come in and obviously direct and help put the movie together, when initially it was Sly Stallone. And it made sense because he was a black man and so is Michael B. Jordan, and they've lived that life. They don't need some Italiano-American guy fucking telling them.
As good a writer as Stallone is.
As good as he is.
He's an amazing writer, but I think
you
even Sly did say,
he
said, you know, I'm out of my sort of comfort zone.
I mean, to be fair, you can say it's Star Wars, it's a different universe, it's not really chained to real life and current affairs, and these characters are maybe living a different existence in the Star Wars galaxy, but at the end of the day, I think they'll get the character and its mannerisms and whatnot better, just like Billy D. Williams would have done before, better than some.
The strangest thing I thought in terms of all these announcements, though, John, was that there was so many of them, and I thought... it's going to take years to get second seasons, and if this is the road they're going down, or we're not going to see some of them for a long time, because they will be doing second seasons of successful shows like we're getting obviously with Andor. The Mandalorian did 3, but you're always having to wait out those couple of years, and the more they were sort of producing the Rangers of the New Republic and such like Rogue Squadron, etc.
What happened with the High Republic stuff as well? That became a book series.
Yeah.
But ultimately hasn't been explored again.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because you're getting different views on that timeline. Some people are saying it's brilliant, fresh, really, I don't know, not visceral, but highly energetic time in the Star Wars galaxy. Lots of Sith, lots of Jedi, lots of scope for big bombastic battles. Getting back to that side of Star Wars, I don't know if you've seen the tweet and all the furore it came from that Star Wars Theory guy, Stephen, the bald guy on YouTube.
No, I've never seen him.
Cries a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've watched him a few times. I like him.
He says Andor, not Andor. It was Andor. It says Andor wasn't real Star Wars because it didn't have Jedi and Sith and whatnot, and the likes of Robert Meyer Burnett and whatnot. Severely.
There's a bigger world out there.
Exactly.
A bigger galaxy.
I disagreed as well.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want, then you've got this whole timeline where you've got loads of that and an abundance, and you can create a movie, a trilogy, TV shows.
This isn't Star Wars from the 1970s and 80s and then into the 90s, the early 90s, that is before the prequel trilogy came out, when we only had 3 films, and it was for a specific set of fans. This is Star Wars in 2023, where there's something for everyone now. And I've accepted that, John. I accepted that after the sequel trilogy. I went, do you know something? I'm in my 40s. There's going to be things that just won't appeal to me anymore. Maybe when I was a kid, fair dues. I've still got some love for the prequels. I was in my 20s when they were out. And I get that these films were originally designed for children.
Yeah. I mean, it's technically my generation they designed the prequels for. I've got to admit, I still prefer the original trilogy.
But I don't get hung up on it, John. I really don't get hung up when they bring out an animated series and think, fucking another wasted opportunity to bring out a live action series on the same thing. Why are you doing that? Because sometimes kids want to see animation.
Exactly.
And enjoy it in that format.
And sometimes when it's Dave Filoni, Stephen, you get some of the most compelling stories getting told in the animation.
Well, I'm not saying for a kick-off, John, that animation's just for kids. I don't mean that.
No. But it is, Stephen, it's an entry point.
Yeah.
And then it can almost, because some of the stuff that happens in the actual original trilogy is quite dark.
Yeah.
And maybe not suitable for kids below a certain age, although I think I started watching them when I was about 4 or 5.
Yeah, I was the same, yeah.
So, I mean, I certainly introduced to
I don't think I was ever terrified of Vader or the Emperor when I was a kid.
No, I was more haunted by the fucking battlefield stuff of Battlefront with Vader. But it wasn't haunted, it was just a dream where he was chasing me. And no one wants to be getting chased by a 6'8" guy
in a supermarket. Yeah.
In a supermarket with stormtrooper helmets, and he's breathing heavily, and he's got a fucking laser sword in his hand.
Yeah,
no one wants that. No one wants that. So that's not to do with Vader. It's just the thought of an enormous guy in a fucking black suit chasing you with a weapon that can decapitate you in a second. But no, Steve, I mean, I like what they've been doing with the animated stuff. There's been a lot of. I mean, I think Acolyte came out, didn't it?
I think it's for 2024.
2024.
Is that what it said?
Out, yeah? I've not got a fucking clue.
What was that? The one that
there was another one came out. Was there not? Was it not that sort of? What's the name of the Japanese animation style? It's not manga. I think that's the actual comics. Anime. Was there not an anime style Star Wars thing came out? Set the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I've actually just read it, and now the website's not.
Never seen it, to be fair.
The Acolyte. It's the same outcome with a release date of 2024. It was the Acolyte, yeah.
Yeah, the Acolyte. So that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Iconic photo videography. Says hi.
Hi there.
React Ordinary Person in Leo song. We may have to do that, but the songs are still a bit dodgy. Yeah. We've still got an issue for half a day. And then it becomes fair game after that. But the trouble is, Stephen's going on holiday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
You could do it, John. You could do a little dance number. Dance along.
You seen me dancing, Stephen? There's a reason I don't dance. People think we're just stuffy and dour, but I
your Malibu club dance.
I've got timing, to be fair. I mean, I've got a bit of timing, but I just no.
John, I always remember one time when we were playing GTA 5, I think it was. And we were absolute carnage down at these docks. Yes. I was getting chased with like about 100 cops,
Out in the
helicopters, and I remember shooting me, and I was like, "Where's John went to?" And there was this warehouse. It was a club, and I went in, and you were in the middle of the dance floor dancing. I was like, "What? I'm getting killed out there."
That was fucking great, wasn't it?
I filmed
and the
it.
thing is, it didn't look like me. The character didn't look like me. I think it had a leather jacket or something. It did look like me.
I had to film it, and it's on Facebook somewhere on one of my memories.
Fucking, that digital version of making throw better moves than I can. Let me tell you,
Really
right
good.
fucking how if I could dance like that, I'd be dancing at every opportunity. Sadly, I'm
you've been
no.
a VJ film.
Yes, exactly. I'm no Patrick Swayze. Let's put it that way. Mr. Swayze could dance, Stephen.
Yeah.
Star Wars, though, Stephen, there has been a lot of projects announced. Do I believe Disney were influencing Lucasfilm and indeed Marvel? Because they're insinuating that Kevin Feige was having these some sort of, I don't know, clandestine influence put against him, and he was having to announce projects early. I don't think so, Stephen. I don't believe that for a moment. I just think Kathleen Kennedy, in all her hubris and sort of supreme confidence, has decided, I'm the president of Lucasfilm, I'm going to grab the bull by the horns and show them how it's done. Well, she didn't. It's been a fucking disaster.
Well, he didn't.
She, and this wasn't a premature announcement, brought Lord Miller on to direct Solo.
Yeah.
I was about to say Andor again. To direct Solo, and then fired him about 3 weeks away from the production ending and brought in Ron Howard.
Yeah.
And it was an alright film, but it was a fucking disastrous production.
Yeah.
That was down to Kathleen Kennedy. She announced Patty Jenkins was going to make a Rogue Squadron film. That wasn't premature, Stephen, because we had promotional shots of Patty Jenkins in a X-Wing talking about how her father was a fighter pilot, and she was going to base it on her real life experiences and put a Star Wars twist on it.
Ryan Johnson was getting a trilogy.
He spoke about it endlessly. They've announced all of these projects. There was enough meat in the bones. It wasn't premature. They weren't forced to do it.
Taika
Waititi. It doesn't look as though it's going to happen. Taika's now saying that there's someone else. He fucking does everything.
Yeah.
He's so good at everything.
James
He'll be doing
Mangold
Star
as
Wars.
well.
James Mangold.
Yeah, the list goes on.
There's so many projects announced and they've just not seen the light of day. Kevin Feige had a Star Wars movie at one point.
Yep.
I think there was other ones. The Beinoff and Weiss.
I get a lot of these weren't announced at this
Stevie Weiss, David Beinoff.
particular Investors Day, John. I get that, but the ones that they did, I think maybe about half of them haven't seen the light of day.
Now, I do believe there was carnage at Disney. I believe when they brought in the bald Bob Chapek instead of Bob Iger, Chapek, whatever you call him, I do believe he was nowhere near suitable to be the sort of overseer of Disney. And you can see that in the way they've handled movie projects, TV projects, the streaming service, the parks. It's all crumbling. Bob Iger came out of semi-retirement and he's trying to bring it all back together again. I believe when they brought Chapek in, it was a shambolic mess at Disney. And you're seeing that, man, losing subscriptions or subscribers on Disney Plus. Multiple flops now under his tutelage. Because we can't blame Bob Iger for movies that were in production 2 years ago that are now coming out and they're flopping all over the place. I don't believe prior to that, though, when Bob Iger was in charge, he was forcing Kathleen Kennedy to announce all these stupid fucking projects. So what's the excuse going back 5 years ago when it was happening?
Yeah.
It's just shambolic, Stephen. And this is ultimately what happens when you put someone in charge because they were good friends with George Lucas, who isn't a fan of the content. She's not a Star Wars fan. She may be on a superficial level a Star Wars fan, but she's not Dave Filoni or us, where we fundamentally understand Star Wars and the mythology and the characters and the world, and we love it and we actually want to see it succeed, and we've not got an ulterior motive. She's not that, and ultimately it's doomed to fail when you've not got someone who's passionate at the top. Plain and simple. You need to bring Dave in or Jon Favreau in. Look what they've been doing with the TV shows. It will succeed.
I also thought it was a strange move, John. I know going back, obviously, the Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall duo over the 1980s was a successful production team, and working alongside the likes of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, etc. But I never understood the appointment of her being the president of Lucasfilm.
No.
I just didn't understand what George... I mean, he knows her better than we do, let's be honest. But
denying she's an incredible producer.
Yeah, but I just think, Filoni was around at that time. I really just don't know. And under the wing of Favreau makes more sense. certainly in hindsight, I know a lot of this is in hindsight now, which is very easy for us to sit here and point the finger, John, but a lot of these things you saw coming, especially at the 2020 Investors Day, Disney's Investors Day, when these were rattling out, I was very concerned. I was like, there's too many.
Stephen, at that point they wanted to release 2-3 Star Wars movies in the calendar year. They thought they could do Marvel, but Star Wars isn't Marvel. Star Wars is Star Wars. When Marvel's actually got franchises within Marvel, Star Wars is the franchise. 70 years of storytelling and comic books. Star Wars is getting reverse engineered out of 3 movies. Yeah, they've got to work out of it. Yeah, like one of those little cannot do it. Bombs that Jango Fett had in space, the imploded. The implosion grenades or whatever. That's what it's like, the storytelling. You have to reverse engineer out of 3 movies and create a world. That's already there with Marvel. Marvel have got stories until I'm greying old and ready to pop it and shuffle off my mortal coil. I thought I was outliving Star Wars, John. Well, I mean, Stephen, if it keeps going the way it's going, you may. You may. Never know. To be fair. Because there's some great content coming out, but there's also some fucking shite coming out under Disney. Let's hope now they've got a clear vision. Yeah. And with Andor and obviously Ahsoka to an extent, and the Mandalorian and bits and bobs. Ahsoka has to step up a bit more, though, John, for the second season, if they do a second season, which I think they will. I just felt there was a lot in there that could have been done better. Yeah. But listen, that is what it is. But in the main, it's better. The TV content's been better than most of the films. I think it's just because that's society now, John. I think that's the way we like to watch our stuff. I just don't think younger generations, even if anywhere near the same interest in going to a movie theatre is what millennials or Gen X or boomers had. They just don't. They've not got the attention spans. They don't really care for it. That's why I thought Scorsese's killing of the Flower Moon. The Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, that's the one. I think that would have been better on a streaming platform. And maybe in parts, part 1, part 2 type thing. A mini-series. Because HBO. As you said, people are going out to see a film that's just over 2 hours long, and obviously our last topic we were talking about, Leo, because it's they know what they're going in for. They're going in for an enjoyable ride in terms of an action film, and it's outperforming a Scorsese film, and there's a reason for that. I think it is society is changing, John. I mean, Steen, you've got Taylor Swift beaten Tales of Fleming. Come on. I mean, I don't know how much longer Martin's going to be able to point the finger at other things, blaming other things. He's doing well, Steve. But let's not sit here and say. I mean, the budget. I don't know what the budget was. I think it was stupid money. It was $200 million, wasn't it? So I mean, I can't fucking sit here and say it's doing well. It's been out since October 18th. We're now 5 days deep. It's earned 44. 3 hours and 26 minutes. It's insanely long, Steve. It's a long film. It's a long for a drama-driven film. I mean, I went and watched Avatar: The Way of Water. It was 3 hours 15 minutes long. That was fucking long. Yeah, and that was with Endgame was roughly about the same, but different genres, John. It was action and action, and it was visually arresting. This is, I mean, I'm no doubt in my mind it's a stunning movie. Yeah, but I just don't see me sitting in a theatre for nearly 3.5 hours. I'll wait for that to come on streaming. I'm not going to the cinema to see this. I'll wait till it comes on. Commercial breaks as well, the advertisements at the start and all the shit. You've been in that theatre for 4 hours. Yeah. I ain't get 4 hours to fucking. I've just not got 4 hours. Your bum's numb. Yeah. I ain't get 4 hours to sit in a theatre. It's just not going to happen. I've just not got it. You're not falling asleep. No fucking way. I'll wait till this comes out on a streaming platform or on hard copy, and I'll watch it at my own pace. Best way to do it. That's exactly what I'll do. And I will enjoy it. And I'll enjoy it because I love Martin Scorsese. I love. I love this story as well. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But getting back to obviously what we're talking about, John, in terms of format of Star Wars changing, I think it's been for the best. Yeah, it's TV now, and that's where it should stay because it's a TV sort of IP now, franchise now. Yeah, movies shouldn't be seeing the light of day for at least another 5-6 years minimum. Definitely, you need to make it special again. Yeah, well, this is that. I mean, I'm not that excited about a Star Wars film now. You think The Force Awakens, Steve, and the buzz before The Force Awakens, it was fucking unbelievable. Yeah. People were frothing out the mouth. I think it was December 2014, wasn't it? That first trailer dropped. The one with Andy Serkis narrating it. It was absolutely insane. Yeah, it was fantastic. I was fucking buzzing.
I was like, oh,
barely get sleep.
A year to go.
The day before we went, I barely slept.
Yeah.
I know Kevin didn't sleep.
Yeah,
he was up all night.
He was worried about it, and he was right.
He was right, to be fair, but I think most people thought that was a decent enough movie. I mean, it was pretty. The Force Awakens is a pretty good movie. It's decent.
Yeah.
A little bit shallow now in hindsight, but that's not his fault. It's what came afterwards. Dropped the fucking ball, didn't they? Can't blame the start when the middle and the end are shite. It's the middle and the end are shite. Plain and simple. That's what it is. I mean, you can't go off a cliff here again, Stephen. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Star Wars. This sums up, doesn't he? I love Adam Driver. We're talking about him. We reacted to a film with him. Yep. I'm blanking on the name of the film just now, but we reacted. It's Ferrari.
Yeah.
Ferrari. He was at the Grand Prix yesterday. I love a guy, but I mean, he's playing the villain.
Yeah.
And he's killed Han Solo, and they redeem him.
We'll talk about Lewis Hamilton after the show, John.
Oh, Stephen, Lewis. I was talking about Lewis last night. I was happy he finished second. Fucking disqualified.
Yep.
I found out when I woke up.
I saw it and I went, oh, John will be raging.
Jesus fucking Christ.
John will be on those message boards, those soccer message boards arguing with people.
Oh, no, I've laid off that. My sort of disdain for Max has lessened over the years. You can't even deny he's a fucking absolute incredible driver now.
Yeah.
He's got the best car, but... And Stephen, I've got a similar personality to Max. I just don't fucking care either. And I speak my mind. So I kind of respect the way he just talks. Like even 2 days back, no shit, Sherlock, fuck's sake, in a press conference. I respect that. I like the Dutch forthrightness. They're like us, but better. I maintain that always.